So one of the challenges as you build your social media design is to think about how you describe yourself, how you write your bio, and how you get consistent and thoughtful about doing that. But going back a little bit to this idea of just managing your online reputation, I really think one of the fastest ways I've seen people destroy their reputations is trying to trash someone else's. If you find yourself feeling critical and you want to say something negative about somebody else, pick up the phone, write a letter you don't send, don't post it on the web. It's there forever. It looks 10 times worse online than it does just about anywhere else. And I have never seen anybody critique someone else aggressively without making themselves look bad at the same time. There's just almost no way to do it. And it's just, yeah. But then you get to the other side. What do you do if somebody critiques you? Because that happens a lot, right? Well, the first thing I say is do not feed the trolls. Never feed the trolls. If someone does criticize you and you do read something online, you put up a post on Facebook and they say something negative, or you find something posted on somebody else's page about your work, about your life, about who you are, my first recommendation is that you take your hands off your computer, sit on them, literally, for at least a count to 10. Because it's really hard to fight that impulse to fight back when you see that. And so if you just consciously say, okay, if I ever see something critical about me online, I'm going to follow Janine's voice, I'm going to sit on my hands for 10 seconds, and then I'm going to try and remember, what were those other things she suggested that I do? Well, one of them is, if you really have to set the record straight, if somebody says something about you that you just think is patently wrong, then I would say, instead of responding to them in that discussion area, in the comments on their blog or whatever, go to your Facebook page, go to your blog, and post something positive and corrective, something that corrects the record, that sets the record straight, but does it in a more positive way. So if somebody said you were something that you're not, then you might go do a blog post about what you are in a positive, strong way, just to make sure that the good message that you want out there is out there, but maybe refrain from responding directly where they are. Another thing I've seen people do is to reach out privately to friends and allies and ask them to come to your defense. Now, I mentioned before, often if somebody critiques you online, your friends and allies will do that automatically. They'll jump in and post nice things. They'll jump in and say, no, she's great, what are you talking about? But don't be afraid to privately reach out to a couple people and ask them to do that if you believe they can do it in a sincere and authentic way. You don't want it to look like you're kind of being spammy with it. You don't want to look like they're sock puppets. But if you need to let your friends know that you need help, that's definitely better than getting engaged in a flame war yourself. So remember, those critics can motivate your friends and fans, and you may be amazed by just how much support you can get out of that. So I don't want to harp on this issue. I'm not going to spend any more time on it. But I have seen people spend lots of time building a great profile and great reputation and starting into a great business online, and somebody says something a little negative and they respond and the other person over responds, and all of a sudden the main thing that gets attention is this really nasty, ugly online war that they got into. And it can so undermine all the effort you've done to design a good reputation that I just think it's important to keep in mind. People do stuff. You don't have to take it so personally. I know it's hard, but your best response generally is a very, very low-key one, if at all. On the flip side of that, I highly recommend social grooming. And as I said, it kind of comes from this idea of the monkeys watching out for each other, and that we all kind of have this inherent need to take care of and be taken care of by the people around us. So think about how to shine a light on others' best sides, how to like and share your friend's Facebook posts, retweet. I still believe that an RT, a retweet, is the highest compliment you can give on Twitter. So take the time to not just post, but to be thoughtful in responding. Sometimes I'll kick back just to balance my social media experts, my social media experience. At the end of the day, I'm watching the news or something else with my husband, I've got my iPad open on my lap, and I'm just going through Facebook, liking my friends, commenting, doing some social grooming. And it can be kind of a pleasant, I don't have to worry about what I'm going to say or what I'm going to post. This is my time to just sit back and see what they're saying and make sure I'm taking some time to listen and like and share and friend. Attract and post testimonials. If you don't have some compliments on LinkedIn, that's definitely something that's worth reaching out for. Make sure that people have said things. But if you take the first action, if you're the one who goes and offers to write testimonials for people, then they're often likely to reciprocate that or certainly be much more responsive if you come back and ask for that yourself.